up Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteers and local doctors hold free clinics for volcano survivors in North Sumatra. China, Tzu Chi volunteers hand out scholarships to some 20 underprivileged students in Sichuan's Ya'an. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. In North Sumatra, Indonesia, following the eruption of Mount Sinabung, over 6,000 residents took refuge in 12 different shelters. In the wake of the air pollution caused by the volcanic ash, Tzu Chi volunteers joined hands with local doctors to hold health checkups for the affected patients.
As grey smoke continues to bellow from the volcano, local residents have started to experience discomfort. After the volcano erupted, the volcanic ash caused residents' medical needs. Madame Tzu Chi volunteers soon organized free medical services, including general medicine, ophthalmology, and chest medicine. 16 doctors in total joined this free clinic.
Given the amount of volcanic ash, the public's health was definitely affected because the hot ash contains the chemical sulfur. When we were carrying out the preliminary diagnosis on them, their voice was hoarse and they started coughing. Their vomit contains phlegm.
As the volcano had just erupted, most of the local residents went outside without wearing face masks. Volcanic ash blurred our vision and agitated our eyes.
Working in limited space and with limited medical resources, each of these doctors does their best to help as many patients as they can.
Since 2 days ago, Tzu Chi volunteers have started their relief work to help these refugees with medications and other necessities. On behalf of the local residents, thank you, Tzu Chi, once again for your compassionate gesture.
With Tzu Chi volunteers' dedication and selfless love, these refugees will soon be able to return to their normal lives again.
In Malaysia's New Jiling Simbinlan state, a fire broke out along the street in Titi village and destroyed 12 food shops. Luckily, no casualties were reported. Upon receiving the news, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived with relief items, emergency cash, and most importantly, much needed emotional support. Let's take a look.
Mid-Autumn Festival is a time of happy gatherings, but in Kampung Baru Titi, in Malaysia's Negeri Sembilan state, a row of 12 shops with over a century of history was burned to the ground in a sudden fire. Shop owners were able to escape and are now helping each other recover.
The fire happened so suddenly and there was no time to react. My husband told me to help grab some important things, and then we went to help others. There was a senior suffering from dizziness, so we rubbed medicine on him.
The fire inflicted heavy losses, and now the most urgent matter is to help residents rebuild their lives. The next morning, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at the disaster site to confirm the list of those affected in preparation for the distribution of emergency cash and supplies.
It's not a lot, but to the disaster survivors, the emergency supplies can be of help. If the same happened to us, we would also need the care of others.
A video explained the origins of Tzu Chi's eco-friendly blankets to residents, as well as the supplies which came from many people, relaying their love and care. Putting their hands together in prayer, volunteers hope these residents may soon recover and rebuild their lives.
In 2006, Malaysian Su Yi-hung, who suffered from elephantitis, arrived at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital in Taiwan for treatment. After he made a full recovery, Su returned home. Unfortunately, without attentive care of his wound and regular checkups, Su's wound was infected, which led to pleural effusion. On September 19th, the young man passed away peacefully. Although no longer with us, Su's courage and optimistic mindset will stay with us forever. In 1998, Soo Hee-hoon broke his left leg in a car accident. After he made a full recovery, he realized that his leg had started to swell. Since then, the problem not only affected Soo but also the lives of those around him.
Back in 2006, we accompanied Yi-hong to Taiwan, where he received a leg surgery at the Hualien City Hospital. City paid for all his medical expenses, and many volunteers accompanied him to Hualien.
6 months after the treatment, Soo was ready to go home. Thanks to the effort of doctors and nurses, Yi-hoon was able to ride a bicycle. This was a moment he had been looking forward to for a long time.
I want to thank everyone that has helped me, and especially my mother.
In 2008, the swelling in Soo's left leg reappeared. With the help of Kota Kinabalu Tzu volunteers, Soo Hee-hoon returned to Taiwan for treatment.
Between his first surgery and second surgery, he needed to go back to the Hualien City Hospital for checkups. He couldn't make it because his mother was sick and he had to look after his mother's hardware store. Their living environment wasn't that great, which is probably what contributed to his worsening condition.
On September of this year, Soo Hee-hoon was admitted to the hospital due to pleural effusion. Unfortunately, the doctors were not able to save his life and Soo passed away peacefully.
Of course I miss him, but I do think it is better for him this way. If he is still alive, he will have to live with a heavy leg. I am sad, but I don't want him to suffer. At least he passed away peacefully.
Although Soo Hee-hoon passed away at a young age, his bravery and optimistic mindset in facing his sickness will stay with us forever. In the aftermath of the 9/11 earthquake in 1999, many schools were left in ruins overnight. In a project known as Project Hope, Tzu assisted with the reconstruction of 51 schools in central Taiwan. The first school to be reconstructed by Tzu was Fengdong Junior High School. In our next report, let's take a look at the history of the school and how it rose up from the ruins.
The traumatic experience of the 91 earthquake 14 years ago is unknown to the 13-year-old freshman.
During the 9/21 earthquake, over 200 people lost their lives in Fengyuan district.
The painful history from which flourished love and compassion is passed down to students year after year.
This structure was reconstructed using the most advanced methods of construction.
Each tile, each brick is instilled with the spirit of love and care.
The year of the 91 earthquake, I was still a teacher here.
Tzu volunteer Chen Xiuling retired from Fengdong Junior High School 10 years ago, yet she continues to make a difference at her alma mater even during her days of retirement.
There were Tzu volunteers who devoted themselves wholeheartedly to Project Hope. I felt that I should join them and contribute where I can. It made it possible for us to study here with peace of mind, so I will work even harder at my studies.
Although I'm glad we never experienced the earthquake, I think it's a pity I wasn't able to contribute towards our school.
But it's never too late to start now. For the past 6 years, at break time, math teacher Huang Shenzhou would shuffle between each classroom, canvassing love.
At the time, Tzu volunteers were promoting the bamboo coin bank, so I took one. The students responded passionately, and within a week, the coin bank was full. So I continue advocating this cause. All children have pure hearts. Their kindness and compassion simply needs to be ignited.
Compassion starts within. Recycling begins with action.
We have designed 4 compartments situated just outside each classroom. Students can easily tell which recyclables go where.
它上面的分类。
丢回
wash our recyclables first before throwing them away. It's more hygienic. The volunteers will be happier when they come collect them.
Each Tuesday is the school's recycling day. Volunteers arrive just before 3 p.m. to collect the recyclables. Grandpa Liu has been promoting environmental awareness on campus since the reconstruction of Dongxing Elementary School.
My ligaments are inflamed, so there are times when I feel uncomfortable, but I always remind myself that environmental education cannot be ignored.
Just as environmental protection cannot be delayed, moral education should also not be neglected.
This structure is symbolic. It represents humility and shows that man is an integral part of nature. Hence, we must care for our environment. Our master is truly compassionate in her willingness to help reconstruct 51 schools. The quality and excellence of Taiwan's education system has really improved. It's really exceptional.
Tzu Chi's humanistic spirit serves as the foundation of education at Zhushan Elementary School.
说想自己啊！来，各位，我们来练一下慈济功夫，好不好？右手左手，对，好聪明啊！差一点点。
Later, I realized that Jin's aphorisms not only had an impact on the students, but it influenced me as well. My biggest motivation stemmed from the selfless spirit of our Tzu Chi brothers and sisters.
Where there is love, there will always be hope.
In March, Dominican Republic Tzu Chi volunteer Jose Vianney represented the Tzu Chi Foundation in attending the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women's Conference. Vianney is a devoted Catholic, however, he was deeply influenced when he came into contact with Tzu Chi. He hopes through his translated works, more people back home can join the Buddhist NGO.
During a long time, I was working, and finally, what is the reason of my life?
17 years ago, with a love of Latin American culture and charity work, 29-year-old Jose Vianney moved from Spain to the Dominican Republic, tirelessly working day to day until he met Tzu Chi in 2001.
My experience with Tzu Chi, I learned in the life I can make many things, but the real things, no material things.
By day, Vianney works as a senior consultant at Taiwan's embassy in the Dominican Republic. At night, he volunteers as a translator, producing the Spanish version of Tzu Chi's Great Treasury Sutra.
En donde existe sufrimiento, siempre convertirse en un miembro sofisticado de su respuesta.
Clearly pronouncing each word, Vianney is currently doing a voiceover. In order to suit the Dominican listening speed, he can't speak too quickly. Each translated sentence needs to achieve the translating standard of faithfulness, understandability, and elegance.
And right now, I go to close the sound, the original sound, and I go to a diet.
Subtle corrections and careful retouching is needed in order to accurately translate Master Cheng Yen's teachings into Spanish. Vianney is willing to give up his extra time to devote himself to the tedious work of translating because he feels a higher calling in life.
It's necessary to translate completely all the messages from the Master Cheng Yen, especially because it's necessary to understand very well the philosophy from Tzu Chi.
In March, with his 12 years of experience in the Tzu Chi Foundation, Vianney headed to the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women's Conference in New York City to share the successful story of La Romana Province's Garbage Mountain community in the Dominican Republic.
School plays an important part in a child's growth process. We can see how important education is, especially in the case of these Dominican children. They are able to leave poverty behind because of education.
I hope to invite more local volunteers to join, especially if they see the successful story of La Romana Province. If we can duplicate the model of La Romana Province elsewhere, then more people will be inspired to join Tzu Chi.
Pueda difundir y expandir y que de ese ejemplo nazca más gente interesada en participar y en venir con nosotros.
Returning to the Dominican Republic from New York City, Vianney has a new motto to live by.
We need to learn to look the solution by myself. No every time waiting for the help, but give me.
Working through the night, tirelessly giving himself, Vianney is Don Quixote, walking courageously on the Bodhisattva path.
In China, as part of their scholarship program, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at the Mingshan Senior High School in Sichuan's Ya'an with subsidies to support the lives of some 20 underprivileged students. With Tzu Chi's timely assistance, these students will be able to focus on their studies free from worries.
Tzu Chi's scholarship aid program has changed the lives of countless needy students, supporting them towards a prosperous future.
At the Mingshan Senior High School, there are already many Tzu Chi scholarship recipients. As the new semester begins, the school reported more needy students to us. This time, we are here to distribute subsidies to them, hoping they will be able to focus on their studies, free from worries.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's financial support, over 20 new students of the Mingshan Senior High can now concentrate on their schoolwork. Later at the group activity, new and old scholarship recipients take the opportunity to get to know one another. Despite living impoverished lives, these students never gave up on themselves, but instead studied hard, hoping they will soon get rid of poverty one day.
66-year-old Chen Jingtang, who has many health problems, lives on his own. Due to disability, he has been unable to work and has relied on social assistance to get by. When he turned 65 last year, his social assistance increased, but accustomed to living frugally, Chen has saved his extra money and donated to Tzu Chi to help those in greater need.
In Taichung, the Jinping borough head Yo Jinglong often brings a bag full of supplies to Chen Jingtang, who has relied on such help for over 10 years.
During my hardest times, I had many problems at the same time. My back hurt, I had cataracts, and I couldn't see clearly. My feet were swollen and I was coughing.
Chen Jingtang lives alone and has many health problems. During his worst times, it was kind-hearted Tzu Chi volunteers who offered a helping hand. On his 65th birthday, he started receiving an additional 10,000 NT dollars per month. Unable to spend it all, he donated to help others in greater need.
I had such hard times and no relatives came to care for me. Only Tzu Chi volunteers came to help me.
He has lived in this old house for more than 60 years. He doesn't own it. Before he had to pay rent, but they stopped asking for payment.
The roof has caved in many times. Not only a piece of canvas keeps out the wind and rain, but Chen has no intention to use his increase in social assistance for himself.
When I heard that he could still think of donating to others, I was surprised. He must have been moved by the long-term care given to him by Tzu Chi.
Whether it's $50 or $120, I just want to donate the money. People helped me when I needed to survive, so I want to help others too.
Previously having received help from others, Chen is glad he can help others in return. Still living with the bare basics, he passes his days happily.
DaAi dramas broadcast by DaAi TV are all based on life stories of Tzu Chi volunteers. The goodness and beauty embedded in these dramas have touched the hearts of countless viewers. Thanks to the help of Golden Bell Award judge Ling Shihui, starting from September 21st, CCTV-8 television drama channel in China will be broadcasting the DaAi drama based on the story of the Wei family. Here's more. Portraying the life of a traditional Taiwanese family, the DaAi drama based on the story of the Wei family that lasted 5 generations can be viewed on CCTV in China. DaAi dramas are not only based on traditional Taiwanese culture, but most importantly, the concept of fulfilling filial duties. Ling Xihui, who's one of the judges of the Golden Bell Award in Taiwan, says that DaAi dramas are different in comparison to trendy dramas or soap operas. Touched by Tzu Chi's effort in promoting goodness and beauty, he decided to promote DaAi dramas in China.
DaAi dramas are based on life stories of Tzu Chi volunteers. All the dramas are surrounded by the concept of love, and they are different from those melodramatic dramas. The dramas are embedded with positive messages too.
Now through CCTV-8 television drama channel, every day 1.3 billion residents in China will be able to get a close taste of Taiwanese culture and a better understanding of Tzu Chi Foundation.
DaAi dramas can inspire members of the public in China to think good thoughts. These dramas are also a good representation of Tzu Chi's humanistic spirit.
The story based on the Wei family is the second DaAi drama that has been broadcast by CCTV. In the future, DaAi dramas will continue bringing goodness and beauty to its viewers. Right after the Mid-Autumn Festival, large amounts of discarded barbecue equipment, firecracker packaging and cans caused a spike in materials needing to be recycled. Right now, Tzu Chi recycling station can easily see the carbon footprint left by the public. Although fewer barbecue grills were discarded this year than in the past, every effort must still be made to appeal to the public to reduce carbon dioxide emissions that add to global warming.
The Tzu Chi truck can be seen in streets and alleys transporting materials for recycling. Every year at this time, recycling volunteers find large amounts of discarded objects after the Mid-Autumn Festival.
There's always more after Mid-Autumn Festival. Barbecue grills, mooncake boxes, etc.
The recyclables we picked up today included mostly firecrackers, beer cans and discarded barbecue equipment. All of this creates waste and it pollutes the air too.
Besides recycling trucks full of empty firecracker boxes, piles of metal barbecue grills discarded by the public can be found in the scrap metal section of the recycling station, all of which is contributing to atmospheric pollution.
There were TV reports that said the carbon that's collected on these barbecue grills contribute to cancer.
Over the years, the public's environmental awareness has grown, as we have seen fewer barbecue grills at recycling stations compared to previous years. But to reduce our carbon footprints, environmental efforts must go on.
We go to Australia at the end of the show. Teachers at the Tzu Chi Academy in Perth held an event to teach children the concept of serving others. During the event, children all learned to serve dessert and tea to their parents in a respectful way. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.